Hello, hello. Here we are again with the Universal Consciousness Show, and there is some really good stuff coming. So stay with us. And oh, I got a back feed here. That's not good. Okay, I think I fixed it. Didn't do anything, but I fixed it. Maybe it's Halloween. That could be it. Yeah. Well, anyway, I have a couple of people with me here, two wonderful ladies, because my co-host Diana over in Germany, she could not be here, and I wouldn't know what to do, and I get lonely, so I need a couple of ladies with me here to help me make this thing work today. And what we are going to do, we are going to find out a little more about Halloween and also have some people calling in, hopefully. We haven't normally done a lot of call-ins, but we will do today. So we have, first of all, I want to mention Jennifer FALLAW. She is here with us. She's a spiritual medium. She will also answer questions on health and regular day-to-day home questions and life questions. And if you need a little nudging and advice and a spiritual source, yeah, call us. And I want to mention the phone numbers here a couple of times. One of them is 202-684-6955. And there's another one too, 202-559-7943. And Jennifer will be able to maybe help you out a little bit, give you some insights, find some answers, because she's a medical intuitive. She's also a healer, an author, and she's a radio host. And she is an interdimensional explorer. Oh, we want to hear a little more about that. And last but not least, I also have Nori Love with me. She's also one of my co-hosts on another radio show right here on the LNM Radio Network. That's called the Broadcast Team Alpha. And Nori is also a hypnotherapist. So if you want to know anything about your previous lives, maybe you should get a hold of her. Of course, that's not going to work on this show. That's got to be done another time. But she's also a Reiki master, a double certified law of attraction coach, and a registered nurse, and a few other things. So I want to welcome you here with me. Are you both there?
I am.
I am here.
All right. Okay. Well, I will designate you officially as co-hosts today. So if I get too boring for you, jump right in and take over.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't handle boring on this show. That just won't work.
You're never boring, Aage.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And gosh, this is Halloween, and I don't know. Before today, I didn't know much about Halloween, and I did a little research on it, and gosh, it dates back hundreds of years. Do you guys know anything about Halloween?
Not historically. I mean, just things that I've heard. This is Jennifer FALLAW here. Thanks for having me on the show. I have noticed a real shift in energies around this time of year. I've heard that, over the centuries, it's been a time for the Day of the Dead, and maybe I think in Mexico, Day of the Dead, and it's kind of morphed in America and other places into something that's a fun holiday for everybody to get dressed up and scary and pass out candy. So I don't know how it got to that place, but I have noticed, year after year after year, that the veil is very thin around this time of year, and and this may be why historically people experience more see more things, from the paranormal, people have passed. But in my own experience and the many people that I talk to, this time of year, you tend to see more things out of the corner of your eye in your home. It's a really easy time to connect for mediumship. And so I always tell everybody, I'll get this wave of clients and messages around this time of year saying, my house is haunted, I saw this and I saw that. And I'm like, well, it may not necessarily be haunted. It may be just somebody walking through that you don't normally perceive, but because the veil is so thin right now, you're perceiving it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's goofy times, not just because of Halloween probably, but because we are raising in vibration. And I did a little snooping around on the internet, and I found that there's basically 3 different sources that has brought us to where we are on Halloween right now. And they were not really bad origins to it. They let me just look at some of my notes that I wrote down there. It's kind of the earliest was celebrated by the Romans, but also later on the Celts. There was a Celtic tribe in the British Isles that celebrated a day they called Solemn. To them, that meant end of October, because they had fun in the summer and it wasn't so much fun in the winter. So it was kind of like the transition from summer to winter, and they got more solemn and serious about things, I suppose. And it represented that change. And they believed that in those days, which was not just one day, they had it for several days, that the ones that had died during that year, they were able to walk the earth again during those days. And around the villages where they lived, they left offerings, they left food, they left tools sometimes to the spirits to convince them not to come into the town, because that would be scary. And also the Romans, they celebrate harvest. They called it a holiday, and they called that day Pomona. That's the name of the goddess of garden and fruit. When the Romans conquered England, they took the 2 holidays, then became one. And several hundred years later, the Catholic Church, they recognized November 1 as the All Saints' Day. Mm-hmm. And All Saints' Day was called All Hallows' Day. And the evening before was called All Hallows' Eve. And now you can see the name is getting closer. Over time here is a change to customs in some way, and it become more scary than it used to be. And it became Halloween with costumes and gifts and all kinds of pranks and running up to people's doors begging and stuff. That used to be, done around the village before. And the settlers in America, especially the Irish, they brought it here to Americas. And they brought the customs with them, and they started instituting this, and it kind of stuck. There is a solid pagan root in all of this, because the Catholic Church, in fact, very few people really know this, but the Catholic Church was banned in America for about 60 years, early 1600s to about 1660. They banned the Catholic Church because of all the atrocities that they had done throughout time in Europe. And during that time, then of course the pagan, they kind of ruled. But it became what it is today, and the Celts, even back then to now, they dressed up in goofy outfits and just kind of tried to get the evil spirits to be confused, so they didn't bother them, and that's kind of where it ended up being today. And I didn't know anything about this, but gosh, it wasn't as scary as it is now. Now you have all these goofy looking outfits, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it. What about you, Nori? What do you think?
Well, I think I remember growing up and being in Catholic school and All Souls and All Saints Day. But I also remember that there's the Celtic Festival of the Dead called Samhain, and I'm probably not saying that right. Where, like what you said, where people put treats out on their front door to appease the roaming spirits. So I'm not a really big fan of it, especially since children have gone in the United States, gone house to house, and unfortunately, have been occasionally even given candy that was, harmful. So it's not my favorite holiday. So I'm joining with some other women who will be wearing white and having a candle on Halloween, and we're going to be available to help dark and incarnate souls go to the light. So maybe it will get better.
Yeah. Dressing in white would really be a good idea.
Yeah.
Everything you see out there is mostly black or dark. That'll be a change.
Exactly.
Huh. But where, this Halloween, they call it a holiday. I guess that comes from the word holy. Mm-hmm. I'm not so sure it should be a holy day at all. It's I'm not a big fan of it either. But I think the kids are, because they get so much candy that lasts them a whole year, right?
Yeah. Well, I think, and not just the kids get candy. I mean, it's a great excuse for everybody to eat if you're going to do that. Yeah. But
what do you think behind the curtain of it all? What do you think is going on out there? We see people dressing up as spooks and goblins and all the other stuff that they can think of. Do you also think that there may be spirits walking with them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of way out there with this stuff, just so everybody knows that, I'm an angelic medium. I call it that because along with regular mediumship work, I speak with archangels face to face most of the time. That's where I get most of my information. I like to keep it divine. That's my comfort zone. And so I really do feel that over the centuries, this Halloween thing is related to the thinness of the veil. I think the veil between dimensions is a living thing, and it goes through its own cycles, just like the earth does with weather changes and people do. And I think at this point in time, I think that there are portals opening at this time, weak spots in the veil where they could easily pass through from the astral plane to our plane. And I think that each dimension that we have, alternate reality, as it, for the earth, are superimposed upon each other. And so if you have a weak spot, it could be like a window where you just suddenly perceive somebody walking by and they not necessarily perceive you. They're on their own plane at their own time. I mean, what we could be seeing is we're peering into another time, another dimension, or we can also have spirits who pass through these openings and are now on our plane, and then they get very confused. Or we could have those that just never wanted to cross over to the other plane, which is more rare. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe over the centuries, because of I was just sitting here talking to Archangel Gabriel about it, and he was telling me about the harvest. The big thing about this time of year is the harvest, and people were starting to experience things, and they were, in their primitive ways, concerned that these spirits were going to come and poison the harvest, or they were going to take the harvest, or they were going to do something. So they started giving out a little bit of it here and there to appease these spirits so that they would stay away. But and also, you know, there's a lot more respect for the spiritual world long time ago. And I think it was like a sign of respect. Let's say if you have, you know, just like we do today, if you live on Native American land, there's certain things you have to do for spirits to show them goodwill. Interesting thing that happened years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. We used to get all into Halloween. It was really fun. You know, I got the little kids around the house and everything. And so we threw a Halloween party with all the 4 kids and had everybody there, went all out with all these, had a graveyard in the front yard, zombies coming out of the ground, stuff everywhere. Well, we had the party. It was fun. And then after that, you know, of course, you know, I'd like to tell you that I am quick about taking down decorations. I'm not. They'll sit up forever. And so so like for a couple weeks, everybody in the house was fighting, and we don't do that. We're just really laid back, and we get along as a family, you know, and we've got a little tiffs, but it was excessive. It was like everything was out of line, and everybody was fighting, and I'm sitting out on the front porch, and I see Archangel Michael standing in the middle of the graveyard. And, you know, I'm praying. I'm saying, what do I do? You know, what's going on lately? Why is everybody up in the air and fighting with each other? And he looks down at the ground and all my hands coming out of the ground and all this stuff. And he goes, why do you have these things in your yard? And, of course, this is how the angels, they work with you. They ask you a question to get you to think, to get you to come to a conclusion on your own. They will not enforce their will upon you. So he knows all this, but he's asking me this. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I don't know. It was a party. So this is like an advertisement to invite in like things. So what we've got is we've got the good guys and we've got the bad guys and we've got everything. And basically everything is real somewhere. So if you've got, let's say we do have all these spirits wandering around. We've got angels, we've got good guys, we've got bad guys. What signs are you putting up to let people know what's welcome in your home? So if I've got this massacre and all these demons coming out of the ground in my front yard, you know, and they're walking by like, oh, this is a good place to be. You know, this is where it's at. And so they're coming in and they're messing with people. And they're saying, oh, yeah, you should go fight with her. And she didn't, you know, this is what she meant when she said that, you know, causing chaos. And so I said, so what do I do? He goes, take them down. Get rid of them. And so I'm like, well, I spent a lot of money on this, you know? so I'm like, I was stupid. So I was like, well, what do I do with these? How do I can't just throw them away. You know, Brett's going to like kill me for spending all this. So I'm out there in the front yard and I'm putting them in white plastic bags and sealing them up. Then I put them in white bins and I put them in the garage. And I'm like, this white light will shield us from the negativity. So I eventually got rid of all of it, and we stopped doing that on Halloween. We went to the cute little Halloween and the fall decorations, and you know, of course, we're not letting go of the candy because that's a bunch of joy right there. But we stopped with the gore, we stopped with the real negative energy, you know, and playing the scary movies. You know, the kids will go and they want to watch the scary movies and stuff. But even when you do that, think about the energy involved in creating this scary movie. All the people involved, all the people who do this for a living. And I'm not saying it's bad, but their intention here is to have the scariest, to, you know, the most negative of energies. And so you put that on the TV and it's coming into your home. So, I mean, it's really have to look at what you're advertising, what you're, you know, allowing to come into your life, and then it really comes down to personal boundaries.
Jennifer, that's so good. That's what I was going to ask you before. Like, what if you think that everybody giving attention, right? We're giving attention, we're giving our focus to Halloween and all of those things that align with that energy, right? So we're essentially inviting it.
Well, yeah, everyone has their personal boundaries. Everybody has, you cannot interfere with free will. And the dark side likes to try all the time. But if you say no, they really can't do it. It's the law of the universe. Somewhere inside you, if you're saying no and you're like, I'm a victim, this is going to happen anyway, that's giving them permission. So if you're focusing all your energy on being afraid, that dulls down your defenses to begin with. And so let's say you walk into a haunted house and nothing's going on, and people say, well, I haven't had anything go on for a long time, but you go in there with the intention of seeing something or hearing something. And, let's say it wasn't just an earthbound spirit. Maybe they got negative spirits in this house. They got demons or something. Well, they're going to come right at you. You're going to have experiences because they want to connect personally with you. And so I do believe, if you go around with your intention to stay connected with the angels and the divine and your guides and anything good and wholesome, and that's what you're going to be surrounded with. But you ever notice everything's fine? Then you watch a scary movie and all of a sudden your house is haunted. You've got all this activity going on. Well, it could be that you sitting there in this fearful state, wondering if something's going to come in, might allow it to come in and then mess with you. So I think things are all over the place. We have these energetic signals and everything's connected. So I think it's really important pretty much to, if you're gonna engage in all the Halloween stuff, put it in a different perspective in your mind. Like, this is temporary. This doesn't allow anything to come in. This is just fun, So it's interesting how all of that played out. As soon as I took all those decorations down, all the turmoil stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big lesson, and I never went back to it. And the kids hate me for it, but I never went back to it.
And everything that you said, Jennifer, is a good reason to not get drunk, or at least not, or at least set an intention if you're going to drink on Halloween, because that makes you more vulnerable, right?
I think it does. I think as a whole, it lets your defenses down. I don't think people should take this information and use it to be more fearful, but just to be aware. I don't drink because of what I do. It does make me feel defenseless, and you're much easier to give in to negative thoughts in that state.
Yeah. So, but if somebody's going to drink, before they drink, they can set the intention that this is just fun and they're safe and protected, and call in their angels so that they don't make themselves open to that other energy.
Oh yeah, you can walk right into a house that has bad guys all crawling all over it. You walk in your bubble of light, they can't touch you. You're like a bug zapper, and they'll probably hide from you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I can see that, because they can't stand that vibration, and it's kind of like maybe somewhat similar to prayer, because we pray, but we don't get what necessarily we want. We get what we are. Our own vibration decides what we're gonna get. So if you had a little different view of Halloween this way, I think we could be much better off. Absolutely. And now, for those that want to call in and talk to Jennifer and Nori here, the number, I will repeat it again, because what did I do with the number? Okay. It's... the calling number is 202-684-6955. And another one is 202-559-7943. And also, if you have some spooky stories, there's stuff going on in your house, if you've seen some things, we love to hear about it.
Yes, you can call in and ask for an evaluation of your home as well. And I can. The Interdimensional Explorer thing is basically remote viewing, but kind of half-assed remote viewing because I don't use the scientific process. I don't know if that's laziness or it just comes naturally, but that's a big part of what I do. So people come and they ask for an evaluation on their home, and the angels and I shoot off there and take a look. So if you are looking for that, feel free to call in.
Jennifer,
that'd be excellent. Yeah,
awesome.
I bet there's people that need that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jennifer, I have an interesting story, and I'd like to see your take on this. A while ago, I hosted the Archangels, and I did the process where I cleaned my house and I got flowers, and I opened the door at a certain time, and then they stayed for 10 days or something, and then they go to the next person, and ever since then, I always find feathers.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that. That is really interesting because see what you did here in doing that, they don't go away. They don't, it's not like they're like, okay, let's schedule a time with Norway because we're really busy and we can't, The thing is the reason why, let's say Jesus, the archangels, saints can be with somebody, and you hear all these people saying, I talk to the archangel. Oh, well, you're so special. They come to you, The thing is it all comes down to personal realities. And if you, in your personal reality, believe that it's possible and reach out to the archangels or to the angels or even to bad guys, this is why you need to, pick your team. Because if you believe that it's possible and you ask them to come, you have then invited them to be in your personal reality. And if you sit down with Jesus or the archangels or whoever it is that's positive you'd like to be with you all the time, they most definitely can't be with you all the time, every day in your personal reality because of the separation of self. So if we are all one, let's say the Creator separated himself infinite amount of times, and within each separation, that person or that entity can then separate themselves many, many, many times to experience the alternate reality. And I think for every choice, there is an alternate reality for the other choice. And on and on and on. And this is what makes things so infinite. So if we as human beings in this reality that we're in right now can separate our consciousness, angels say 3 to 4 times. And people do it all the time. You sit there watching TV, you're thinking about what happened at work today and also what you're going to do for dinner, and you're keeping track of what the kids are doing. In meditation, we do it when we sit on our bed and we're still aware of where we are, but we can also shoot our consciousness off somewhere. It's just fine-tuning that perception of what separation you're focusing on. So if you invite the archangels to be in your life and to be your best friend and to be your guide, and you talk to them all the time, they are very much there. So if you invite them into your house for 10 days, you've already opened the door. And so anytime you think of them or you ask them something, they're there and they can hear you.
Yeah. And I see now that we are at the bottom of the hour. And even though this is Spookathon, I believe we can do or want to do a 4-minute break to pay some bills and have a little information about what can be out there. So we will be back very shortly with the Universal Consciousness Show, and we will be back in just a few minutes.
While you're sitting back and enjoying this year's Spookathon, please do not forget the purpose for this great one-of-a-kind event. The LNM Radio Network is listener-funded, and that means we need you to keep doing what we do here. Bringing you the best hosts with the best guests and the best information and entertainment of any other radio station on the planet. I planted this seed called LNM 11 years ago, not having any idea how big this baby would grow, and grown it has. Like anything we love, we want to cherish, protect, and be sure it continues to breathe life to all the great people who depend on our shows and our content each and every day. So won't you please reach into your pocket today and donate to the LNM Radio Network, because without you, there is no us. And no us means no me and you. I don't know about you, but that makes me sad. We started this mission 11 years ago, not knowing what it was. And we can continue this mission only with your help. So go over to LateNightInTheMidlands.com or the LNM Radio Network's LNMRadioNetwork.com and click the donate button now, so we can continue to bring you the best guests with the best information, the best host on the #1 network in the land, the LNM Radio Network. Enjoy the Spookathon, folks.
Being a dad is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise?
Right. Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
You can listen to the LNM Radio Network 24 hours a day, 7 days a week through the Paranormal Radio app. Available from LNMRadioNetwork.com or TalkStreamLive.com on both Android and Apple. Our call to listen line is open 24/7. Dial 701-719-9704 so you can listen on the go.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I wasn't sure if I could do it. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but the teachers, the counselors, they help you. One of the teachers was Miss Araceli. Miss Araceli, she gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll come over and she'll sit there with you until you get it.
Thank you, Ms. Araceli. I know you make a difference in people's lives because of the person and teacher you are. I wanted to be here because I wanted to thank you for helping me get a beautiful gift.
50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work. Getting your high school diploma, it is a life-changing experience. It really is.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
The views and opinions expressed on the LNM Radio Network solely belong to those who make them and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the LNM Radio Network or our affiliates and advertisers.
Have you ever heard of Audible? Audible is a website with hundreds of thousands of audiobooks. They're all high quality, easy to listen to, and, best of all, if you take advantage of a special deal that we've worked out for you, you can get one for free. That's right, a free audiobook of your choice in any genre, simply by going to audibletrial.com/openeyes and signing up for the free trial. It's simple to do, and it would support the shows that we bring to you, and hey, you get a free book out of the whole thing. So why not take advantage of it today? Go to audibletrial.com/openeyes and sign up for the trial.
Ask 10 different scientists about the environment, population control, genetics, and you'll get 10 different answers. But there's one thing every scientist on the planet agrees on. Whether it happens in 100 years, or 1,000 years, or 1,000,000 years, eventually our sun will grow cold and go out. When that happens, it won't just take us. It'll take Marilyn Monroe, and Lao Tzu, and Einstein, and Morobuto, and Buddy Holly, and Aristophanes. All of this was for nothing. unless we go to the stars.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it. LNM Radio Network, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
Hello, we are back with the Universal Consciousness Show on Spookathon, and I have Nori Love and Jennifer FALLAW with us. We are talking about spiritual things, what can go on and what can happen here on Halloween and the rest of the year. And Jennifer, you were talking, I hope you didn't lose your train of thought here, you were talking about maybe how the spiritual world can interact with ours. That got really interesting the way you were explaining that.
Yeah, well, it'll with work, in work, in everything that I've done over the years, the one rule of the universe that rings over and over again and pops up is free will. So we as creators, as part of the creator and as in a different separation, really can choose what we allow into our reality and what we don't. We have problems when our reality is always colliding with other people's realities. Still studying that, or is it? Because right now I could be sitting here. I could just be a player in your reality, and you could just be a player in my reality. But are our two realities really interacting? And this is what keeps me up at night. But it's really interesting how when you choose not to allow negative spirits into your home, or you choose not to allow negative people into your life, and you really just start becoming more conscious of what you're allowing to come in. So let's say someone is Halloween's coming, and for the rest of their, they're going to go out on Halloween, they're going to have a good time, and everything's about blood and gore and negativity and vampires and killing people and all kinds of stuff all over the place. Everything they're viewing for that day is negative. And for some reason, they have a terrible evening. They're fighting with so-and-so, nothing went right, things start breaking. You may have gone to a party and there's a lot of other people thinking the same thing. Well, the energy in that room is very negative. And in your reality, if you're inviting in that negative energy, if you're going out to be scared, you're going to get it. Okay? And so there's, on the earth, and there's all kinds of things walking around. And, if you're walking around in your bubble of light and you're like, I am protected and I'm positive, they don't want to mess with you because you're like a bug zapper. They're going to hide from you. You walk into a house with demons in it and you're somebody who's got angels with you and you got this bubble of light and you're positive and let's go. And they're going to hide in the corners. They're not going to attack you because their energy, the energy, let's say of light, the word everyone uses, it's a very high vibration. The higher you raise your vibration, let's say, just to make it simple, the brighter you shine. Well, a lower vibration is no match for that. And so they would like you to think in these times that you are susceptible, that you are weak. Oh, they got all these movies coming out to scare you because people want to be scared. Oh, well, we're no match for the darkness and they're going to come in and all they got to do is just attack us. And it's like, no, they're not. Because you are stronger than that when your vibration is high. It's when we get sick. That's their goal. Okay. Here's why. Why do we have these things wanting to prey on humans? Because in reality, you've got dark, light, you've got up, down, you got back, forth, you got everything. Everything has a balance, okay? So as splinters of the divine in our own reality, we are creators. If an entity chooses to break off from that and to completely deny that, makes that conscious choice to destroy that, they are no longer a creator, and they have to use the creators in order to create what they want. So what they will do is try to dwindle you down, to make you negative, to mess with your life, to create chaos, to make you sad, to make you sick. And then that lowers your vibration, and then they can really attach into you and use you as a puppet to create what they want. That's amazing.
Well, I think there's probably more of this than we should think, because if you really start looking behind the curtain and what's going on in people's life, I think we can see it a lot of places.
Oh, it's very common. It's more common than you think. It's and it's also very common. Just like everybody has their guardian angels and everybody has their guides and everybody has positive people that walk into their life, there is a lot of help there. There's a lot of influence there, but you can't have one without the other, or you wouldn't know what they were. You can't have the day without the night, or you wouldn't appreciate either. And so the more you choose, the more you choose to say, no, I don't like this darkness stuff. I don't like this sadness, this grief, this illness, I'm just going to I know that's there, but I'm going to refuse to allow it to be in my life, And it's funny because if you become aware, if you start thinking about how different energies that people feel, sometimes you get somebody who walks in a room and you're like, oh my God, I love that person. That person made me feel amazing. Well, their vibration is probably really high. They're probably really a positive person. Then you get somebody who walks in and just by standing there, it's just like, wow, that's like Debbie Downer right there. I feel like I need a nap. If you feel like start becoming aware of the energies, you can distinguish between them.
Oh, this is something that everybody can feel. I don't care where they are on the spiritual scale. You can attach your vibration to somebody that's usually more like yourself.
Yeah. And, a lot of people go out, and they invite people into their circle, into their life. We can't do a lot about who we're working with, but we can go into work with that bubble of light protection around us. And it's just as easy as choosing to have it there. Just like, I'm in a bubble of light today. Thank you, God, for surrounding me with this bubble of light. And you walk in and, all the arrows are bouncing off. But, as far as people in your life and, every choice that we make has a result. And if you know this person, well, this guy's really negative and he's probably doing drugs, don't really know, and he's got all this terrible past and all this stuff, and he really makes me feel bad about myself, but he's really cute, so I'm going to go out with him. Probably not the best choice.
I've done that the other way around.
Most people do that, and it's like, I've done that. I went out with a guy once, and the first time we were alone, and looked into his eyes, and I heard, snake. And I went, no, come on. No, he's not. No, I probably didn't hear that. And he's probably a really nice person. And he was a snake. He was like one of the worst snakes that I ever met. But I never listened. I didn't listen because I wasn't done yet. He was cute and I wanted to go out with him.
Yeah.
But as far as Halloween is, you don't have to take the fun out of Halloween. That's what I try to tell people. So just don't, embrace the softer side of Halloween, embrace it as a national holiday where the kids have fun and they dress up in costumes and they eat candy. Maybe go more harvest with it, with the decorations in your home. That's what I do. I go more fall, and we bring out the cute stuff. The little, the little cute little smiling ghosts and the things, and carve the pumpkins and do all that. What I did was just remove the horror movie out of it. And put the fun back in it. And so that's a positive thing.
Yeah, and I think if you, like you mentioned before, surround yourself with a bubble of bright white light, that I do that all the time, and it seems to work for me. When I get out there, I don't have problems. I don't see negative things usually. And that bright white, that is love, if you think it such. And love, it's not just a thought, it's an energy. And love is almost entirely spiritual, out of the physical energy. And this is something that is very effective if we just do that. I get in my car. I have a little ritual about just a short sentence that I say to protect myself as I'm driving. And I don't have any problems. I can't remember any last where I had problems on the road. So it works, and people should do this. I think it really would help.
And I love the point that you're making and that Jennifer has made about intending, choosing what we want in our life. So when we want to turn the lights on, we don't think darkness off, right? We automatically think about the light. And so too, that's how we positively intend. That's how we set our vibration. Instead of saying, I don't want this, just focus on what we do want. Like Jennifer was saying, make it more about harvest, make it fun, carve pumpkins and keep it light and, keep it festive. And I think that's so important.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And emotion is actually the highest observable effect of love. And love is everywhere. Even Einstein, about a year before he died, he said something to the fact that the whole universe is made from love. Hello, I think we have somebody here on the screen with us.
Hello.
Hey, that looks like Laurelie.
It is Laurelie. Hi, Aage. How are you?
Well, I'm wonderful. Somewhere between wonderful and fantastic. I don't know which one is closest.
Oh, that's a good way to be. Happy Spookathon to everybody.
Well, thank you. Hey, I know that you have had some phenomenal experiences in your house. Could we talk a bit about that?
I would love to. First of all, I was listening to your wonderful guest, and I have to agree with a lot of what she said, because that was the key to overcoming. But where to start? We went through 10 years of this. I can say that it started out with a dream. I believe it was probably very cross between a lucid dream and an astral projection almost 11 years ago. And for those of you that may not know, because I haven't met everybody on your panel before, I am a nurse. I've hurt my back, but I'm also a psychic medium, and I'm actually a radio host on LNM here too, in Studio B, in my own show, The Angel Rock. But at that time, I was just starting to get into angels and angel cards, and we'd lived in this house for quite a few years. Didn't have a good energy about it, but it was in my ex-husband's family. And I was making a lot of jewelry, handmade jewelry, pet accessories. And I remember commenting to my first husband when I was able to get out, because I'd hurt my back as a nurse. When I'd go to little shops and stuff, they wanted to carry my jewelry. But they never wanted any compensation for it. And I remember saying to him, I just can't believe how kind people are being. And then this dream and Auggie's heard this before, but this dream, when it was 11 years ago, it was like literally a half hour ago. And there's a tree in my front yard. And there was a man sitting in the tree wearing a gray pinstripe suit. Not a high maintenance person, but you could tell it was very expensive. A white shirt, black tie, neatly slicked back, short black hair, and a black, very short beard and goatee. But his skin was just a sickly alabaster white almost, and his eyes were completely black, and then they would turn to flame. And I remember in the dream, he said, "Hello, Laura Lee." He said, "Do you see how well your business is going? That is nothing." He said, "I can give you wealth, I can give you fame, I can give you anything you desire." And I remember saying, "Who are you?" And he identified himself as a demon, gave me the spelling of his name. And I said in my dream, and not as in kind words as I'm using for radio friendly, but I said, "Absolutely not." And I remember him wagging his finger at me, laughing, mocking at me, saying, "Oh, no, 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 no." He said, "Every time you see a crow or a raven, you will know who this is." And I called on Archangel Michael in the dream. There was a flash of brilliant royal blue, silver, white. Woke up in a sweat, and was crying. But the problem was, that wasn't the end of it. My husband has been thrown 15 feet. We've lost pets. I have burns the size of cigars, like a cigar has burnt me with them. There have been bite marks. I could go on and on. I almost lost my husband one night. Got to the point where it was like he was seizuring in bed. And I remember pulling him up, talking to him, shaking him. And, I knew it was him, but it wasn't his voice. It was his voice, but it wasn't him. And I kept, his name is Del, and I kept saying, Del, wake up. And he'd say in this creepy voice, "I'm okay. I'm all right." And he's got quite a deep voice. And I knew there was something wrong. So I sat him up, and he was choking. And being a nurse, I've seen all kinds of things. This black stuff was coming out of his mouth, and I couldn't get it out. I tried everything I possibly could. I kept thinking, my God, if I was in a hospital, I'd be using suction right now. I didn't have my cell phone. My kids are upstairs sleeping. I thought he was going to die. And all of a sudden, it was almost like he woke up and he started vomiting. More of this black stuff was coming up. Afterwards, he says he doesn't remember what was happening till he just all of a sudden, when I noticed he woke up, he said he felt like his chest was being crushed. I mean, there's way more to this story. We went through this for 10 years and no answers.
Did you get the portals closed in your home?
You picked up on those, did you? Because I've told so many people that. The problem is, love, where I live, we have not been able to have, I would have loved to have had somebody come in here independently and document. But anytime I've talked to somebody, asked for help, we started locally, worked our way out, and we've never been able to get somebody to come here. So
I can do it remotely.
Beautifully, because the only thing that we did...
And I'll do it for free.
Oh, thank you. Because the only thing that's made a difference, love, is following this path. Yeah. Following this path into light work, following this path, what I think I was meant to do. I agree 1,000, well, there's not 1,000%, 100% of what you were talking about, maintaining this high vibration. That's something that I now teach and mentor, and I believe it's so important to maintain a high vibration, positivity, and, choosing how your day is going to go is a choice. I've had people say, well, you're sticking your head in the sand then. No, your whole day doesn't have to go, just because maybe your morning didn't go so well, and so on and so forth.
Exactly. And I think, when things start happening like that, people, what they want is for you, what you're dealing with is you're dealing with a demon infestation in your house. And so what they do is that, like I said, they try to dwindle people until they become sick. Their vibration is low. And then they can really attach to you personally. And so I would suggest, I can do a couple personal attachment removals. I think you're doing good, but just to make sure.
Well, they're still here because there's 4 main ones. I have pictures. I've documented stuff. My husband is actually half, well, we call it Métis, so he's Aboriginal First Nations. And both of my children, my oldest has abilities, and my youngest, even though he's severely autistic, also does. So definitely been able to see what's here. We've had a female spirit that actually mimics looking like what I do. Has hit my husband, attacked him a few times in the kitchen.
Well, that's what they do, and especially, you know, if people show up and they say, "Well, I have the sweetest old woman, and I have this little children ghost in my house," it's like, no, you have demons, and they're trying to connect with you. They're trying to get you to interact with them and to feel,
There was no interaction. We knew that in the beginning. It was just finding some answers. But you're exactly right, and I've said this to so many people. Because you see this on TV with paranormal shows, and in one way it's a beautiful thing that it's opening the door to talk about this type of topic. But the issue is that you get these people thinking they can walk in there and do provocation. You know, or I've had people say to me, "Well, you just send that to my house and I'll kick its butt." And I'm trying to say to them, guess what? They don't come to see you. They go after your children. They go after your health. They go after they go after things you can't control. So, you know, you have no idea what you're dealing with. And I've always said I've never judged anybody. That's not my job. Or I really do make a really honest effort not to do that. But I'll tell you, if I had a patient tell me this story 20 years ago, I would have been on the phone to their doctor asking possibly they might need a 30-day psychiatric evaluation if I hadn't lived it myself.
I never suggest, the way I do it is I do it in meditation in a safe place. I have the archangels and a team, and I take Jesus with me. I mean, if you're going to take somebody with you, it might as well be the Most High. So that's what I do. We project into the home, and on that level we can see what's there. Portals are closed. It looks like a big white tornado. Everything is sent back down to where it came from. People are cleansed, and I do it remotely. I'm not going to walk into a house like that.
And that's
personally.
Smart.
But I do not recommend. I tell people, don't go walking into a house like that and start throwing sage around. You're just going to irritate things.
We've been there with that, and as we've been told and learned, it's like throwing a buzzing wasp nest at a 10,000-pound grizzly bear.
Yeah, and then people go in there with the sage and feathers and all kinds of things and all their little things, and they say, "Oh, I tell you to, you be gone." And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah," and they go hide in the closet and they come back out later. So, what's with the stairs? I keep seeing these wooden stairs. Do you have stairs?
You know what? That's really interesting that you're asking that. I'm actually in the most active corner of my house, but it's almost like a column upstairs. But I have had a few people come locally. The woman that came locally, but she was very high vibe, which is a beautiful thing, but grieving also. She had said to me when she was here, first of all, when she met me at the door, that she was told by her guides to be prepared for the fight of her life. But she mentioned something really intriguing to me, and I've never been able to understand this. It's a bi-level home. So right at the back door to these stairs you're seeing.
Back of the stairs.
Yeah, the house told her that it wanted to be recognized as 2 separate entities, basically, that it was separate. The upstairs was separate from the downstairs. I've never been able to have anybody tell me why or what. I've got some strange cobweb pictures from
I'm back. I'm here.
There's a portal under the stairs. Okay, it's at the very back side. That's where everything's coming in and out. So that's why.
Okay.
It's big. I can see it. There are 2 more. And I think they're in bedrooms. Do you have a basement in this house?
Yeah, I'm in the basement right now.
Okay.
That's where the stairs are that you were seeing too.
Okay. All right. Well, it's at the very back where they would connect to a wall or something. It almost looks like there is a storage something underneath the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there. Which is creepy as hell. Why would they choose the most creepy spot? But for some reason.
Girl. I have told you what we've seen on that security camera, and you come in here and turn on the light. It has thrown religious things 20 feet. I mean, I'm writing a book on it.
Come on, Molly. You want to come inside, sweetie?
So,
Do we have
Laura
a caller?
Laura Lee, this is Nori.
Hi, Nori.
Hi. So I'm a nurse too, but I hurt my back.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but you know what? How special you must be. I mean, you must have really great work to do. You know that they are trying to thwart you. You know.
You know what, Nori? I don't ever want to be that egotistical, but you were about the 10th person that has told me that when we've reached out for help.
Yeah.
That I've been told that what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm working on it, is that it's not going to be good for their side. Plus, there's a lot of light in this house already, like with everybody. Well, everybody, I believe, has gifts, but my children I've known since they've been little, and like I said, my common law partner, hubby, as I call him, he's had gifts since a small child too. So it's quite a light they can see.
Laura Lee, I know we have another caller on the line here, so let me ask the other caller just to hang loose for just a little bit.
Sure, I can hang up,
a little more of your story, and then let's get to the other caller afterwards.
No, don't hang up.
Okay.
I want to talk to you for like hours.
Well, I would love to have any of you on my show too. I'm actually, the name of my show is The Angel Rock, because I do work with angels actually. So that's why when you said with the archangels, love it. And I'm so sorry, I don't want to mispronounce your name, the guest name. How do you say your name?
Jennifer? Nori Love or Jennifer FALLAW?
Jennifer. Okay, sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. I'm trying to read. I just thought it was easier to ask. This has been a pleasure. Thank you, Aage and Nori, for taking my phone call. I really appreciate it. And Jennifer, for... I know you're the real deal because you can see exactly what's here. I know you can.
Well, I don't want to look too. I'm kind of stepping back. I don't want to look too close right now until I'm in a place with protection. But get a hold of me on Facebook, Jennifer FALLAW, FALLAW. Aage knows how to contact me.
Yeah, I'll make sure that you get connected.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, I will hang up then if you guys want, and then you can take your other callers. But thank you so much again, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your show.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right, Jennifer, I'll be talking to you soon too. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, Jennifer, you're amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's not me, it's the angels.
And
I'm
I
doing my job.
we have another caller here also. So who are we talking to?
This is Charles.
Oh, hey, Charles. Hey, you are on the Universal Consciousness Show, and we have a lady here that maybe you want to talk to. You got a question for her?
Hi, is that Nori?
Yes. Hi, Charles.
Hi.
Yeah. And Jennifer FALLAW is giving readings here.
Oh, Jennifer is. Great. Well, I don't know what my specific question is at the top. In life, I kind of cover a lot of acreage, literally and imaginatively. Take care of a farm and a family, and I've gotten into different modalities, and I always find myself pulled on or kind of like the fish in the water that sees the worm and jumps on that worm, and it's on a hook, and away I go, you know? As far as going to people's aid and helping them, and how far do you go until you must let them go? Or actually, one problem I have is holding on to them until they get angry at me. And I kind of get angry back, and I'm thinking, why am I getting angry at someone in such poor shape who doesn't see the forest for the trees anyway? That's not a good thing to have around.
Okay. What I'm picking up right now is lately, so when we do a reading with the angels and I'm asked generally, if they don't have a specific question, I prefer specific questions because I can just get right to the nitty gritty of things. But what I'm getting right now is a significant amount of anxiety and probably health anxiety right now. And I think this is what's getting you all worked up and questioning everything. You're way too much in your head. Way too much in your head. You really need to let the chips fall where they may. And does this? I feel like this is the root of the situation lately. Is that correct?
Oh, that's key. Yeah, let the chips fall where they may, and root. I copy. Yep.
Okay. Now, what are you concerned about with your health? Because I feel like I think it's either, people around you have had problems, so you are fearful that maybe that would be you or happen to you, or you're having little symptoms that, you look up on the internet and you might think that you're dying, and you're not dying.
No, I don't fall that easily. But I do have concerns if there might be a cancer lurking, parasites.
No, but there is no.
Okay.
No, I really don't think it's in your DNA. And what I found from doing this is it's either in your DNA for a cell to take on that mutation or not when exposed to stimulus. And this is my theory. But I think it was in other people's DNA, possibly like a grandma or other people like that. But I don't think it's in yours. But there is some kind of problem with circulation in one leg. I think there was an injury that's kind of blocking possibly a vein or a nerve, or it's pushing on a nerve and it's creating a weird sensation, and that kind of freaks you out.
I do get a little bit of a halt after a work day.
Yeah, that's normal stuff. If it's almost, they're showing me varicose veins. So it's almost like when someone has varicose veins and they get pain in that area and there's concern. So you might have a pinched nerve. I'm really looking at a vein here. So maybe have a doctor scan it, look at it, and see if there's any concern with blood flow. If you start to notice, your feet are really cold or something like that, anything that I tell you, you always want to take back to your practitioner just so that you can push them in the right direction.
Yeah, blood flow and a sense of body warmth. I always feel very, very cold. And if I greet someone or I touch someone or, hold a friend's hand or something, they'll say, "Oh my goodness, you're freezing," So the circulation, that
might be an issue. Do you smoke?
No.
It almost feels like the tightening of the blood vessels. So it could be, everything's leading me back to anxiety and stress, okay? Everything's leading me back to that, except for that leg, where I think you possibly had a knee injury at one time. I really do think most of this is in your head. Do go and get your heart checked and everything, just so that we can alleviate this, so that you can go and they can tell you you're fine.
Okay. Fantastic.
Anything else as far as like life questions that you'd like to know?
I seem to need to assume kind of a more higher executive position in my community, and I would like to know how you may suggest I should go about that. It does involve business. It does involve compassion.
School board.
As much as
I just heard
people.
School board.
School
Have you ever
board.
thought about that?
Whoa. It's so funny. I got a text from a young dear friend of mine who I've mentored for a year. She's 13 now. And I said, I miss doing homework with you. And she says, go back to college. And then I'm thinking later, I want to start a college. So there you go.
You should get on the local school board, and I think that will open a lot. You don't have to. Anybody can do that. You just. I think, I don't know if they campaign for that, Aage. You might know. But I just heard school board, and that's a place to start. And then you're going to interact with a lot of people who know are more knowledgeable about what you can do in your community and how you can get there. And I think that will give you an initial voice. And at that place, other people will hear you and they'll say, yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, why don't you do this? So stepping stones.
Great. Yeah, stepping stones.
The school board is actually one of the best ways to get into politics because
there
you're
you go.
dealing with
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I was hoping that wasn't wrong, because I was just thinking, sometimes you do this stuff and you get these random things that you hear in your head and you just have to spit it out and be brave. And
yeah, exactly.
So I think that would be a good place for you to start. And it's a safer place to start. It's not such a, hey, world, look at me. And then, then have that fear of failing. You can really get in there and educate yourself and find out what it is that you want to do.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. I'm going to run with that.
Yeah. It's a little late for this election now, but hang on. Just prepare yourself for the next one.
Well, sometimes people jump on and off. I know the school board here in town, there's just like, oh, he was on the school board, now he's not. And I think people jump on and off of there. So I would just look into it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you ever want to talk to me again, you can just go to JenniferFalllaw.com.
2 N's, Jennifer?
Yeah, JenniferFALLAW, F as in Frank, ALLAW.com.
.com. Got it. Thank you, Jennifer.
Best to you.
Best to you, too.
All right. Well, I love it when people get some good advice. Sometimes I wish I had some. Yeah, that gave me an idea. I haven't had a reading from anybody for decades.
Well, what do you want to know, my sweet friend? Yeah. I don't know if Nori wants to jump in there. I don't know if she does that. You do that, Nori?
Nope.
She's muted.
Yeah.
No, I don't read. Please go for it. I want to hear this.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Well, ask me a specific question because I know you, and so I have to step aside and act like I don't know you, so that I can go ahead.
There's this old saying, that when you get to the T in the road, take it. So I'm kind of at that T in the road, and
well, you've really let go of the flying, and the flying just makes your soul sing. And I think in some way, shape, or form, you need to incorporate that back into your life because that is something that just you love.
Yeah, it was fun, and
so whether you're I mean, maybe you don't have to actually have a plane and go flying, but maybe you could go for a ride now and then with somebody, or just go and look at planes. Just keep that within your life because it's something that you love, and I think you let go of it for one reason or another, and you feel like something's missing, and so that's that nagging, something's missing feeling, and it's basically your first love.
Mm-hmm.
So professionally, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I loved it for, I flew for a living for 23 years and we have, at our peak, we had 23 airplanes and it was a lot of fun going everywhere, but I burned out. So I don't feel like I'm burned out anymore. I wouldn't mind starting flying again. That would be kind of fun.
It's kind of like an artist who does a lot in their youth and then life gets in the way and teenagers and everything else. And then they haven't done anything for years. And then all of a sudden they're just like, God, what's missing? I get this nagging feeling and they're like, maybe I'll do something with it, and they do. And they feel a little bit back on track, like everything's a little bit more okay because I put this back in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jennifer, do you see anything for his personal life? If I can step in here and be pushy.
What, like in romance?
Yeah.
let me check. Let me ask here for a second. Let me ask. Okay. Okay. For a long time, you have developed emotional, personal relationships at a distance because of a fear of fully committing to somebody. It's not that and it's not a conscious thing. It's like, well, I'm going to choose these people to be emotionally involved with because I know that there's really not a big chance that we could ever be in the same room or we could really go all the way with it, because I'm kind of afraid that maybe I can't give somebody everything they need if I should go all the way with it. I think you're coming out of that now. I think you're coming to a place where you're starting to think, well, it's time to quit hiding.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, it kind of did.
Okay. And is there someone you're talking to? I feel like you're closing a couple things in this relationship area. I feel like something's coming to a close, or it just has been, and that now you've got somebody else in mind.
And now it's opening up. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
It really is all up to you.
Yeah.
You got to make that conscious choice. Do I really want to take the steps? Do I really want to be visible? Do I want to be vulnerable? Do I want to open my heart again? Because if you do, I think that it'll fly. With not with this person, they'll be the next. But this person right now is questionable. Okay, it's questionable.
Say again?
The person you're thinking about right now is questionable. There is just for this relationship to continue on a solid basis. It because there's a lot of choices to be made on both sides. It's kind of like a flirty up in the air, like, yeah, maybe we'll do that. But both people really have to make the choice. I think we have a caller now.
Yeah, we do have a caller. Hello.
Hi. Hi, I had a question for Jennifer. This is Caroline Heshiana Ryan. I'm an LNM host too. So I just want to say hello, and it's a great show.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling. What was your first name again?
Caroline.
Caroline. Okay. What did you want to ask the angels, Caroline?
Well, I am a writer, and I do channeling sessions for people. I have this abundance group that I run. I really love it, but I'm feeling like I'm supposed to do more public speaking, which I started to do a bit more last year. And I'm wondering, is something blocking me from that? Because I'm not even sure how to take action on that in a way that's really, the right guidance. So if there's any message there, I would love that. Just about work.
Okay, I'm not trying to laugh at you. I'm sorry. I'm talking to angels. They
No, I'm sure
they say it like this. We're trying to get her out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're
trying to get you out of the house more. Because I think that you start to get almost the shut-in syndrome. Like you start feeling, but you're happy. You got a good life. Everything's cool. But then you start to feel a little bit down. You're just like, what's missing? What's wrong? Maybe I'm not doing this or that. And it's like you're spending too much time in the house. And so they're like, let's go out. Let's go do something in a group setting. Let's interact with people. Let's talk and laugh and bring that back in. And I think that's probably what's going on. I don't think that you're doing anything wrong. And I think that your path, step by step, is going to lead you exactly where you need to be and what you need to be doing in a pace that you can handle. But I just think right now it's just as simple as they're trying to get you out to be social and to get away from the same scene every day because it's bringing you down.
Yep. It is. It is, absolutely. But does that mean, are they giving you any specifics? The problem with the angels is that they can be really general at times. And I'm wondering, are they talking about me talking to groups or holding, or just participating in groups where I'm just, like they say, just talking with people more? And I
see something that looks like a church setting where there are multiple speakers where everybody takes their turn and goes up and teaches something or speaks on a topic. And people it's general admission, but there's different booths, so it looks like a small community psychic fair.
Okay. I completely understand. That is great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
That's a huge help.
Caroline.
Yeah.
Before you leave, this is Nori, and I love how law of attraction. I love how law of attraction works. I've been listening to you this past week, and just yesterday I was driving on a long trip listening to you, and I said, I so want to meet her. And here you are today. I know. That's so great. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Where do you live, Nori?
I'm in North Carolina. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm in Arizona. So we wouldn't have bumped into each other at the grocery store, but that's really lovely how that worked out. I'm just wondering about, I'm not sure if it was you or someone else who was talking about going through some ritual where you were inviting in the angels. Can you describe that again? That was my other question.
Absolutely. This was given to me by a friend, and it was where you host the archangels. And I'm sure, like Jennifer explained, it was just me opening to them. She sent me the directions, and they were supposed to come at a certain time. But that was all for the purpose of me setting the intention, cleaning the house, getting flowers, and then being prepared for them. So, I mean, I think I still have it on my computer. If you'd like, I can send it to you.
Well, that's very kind of you. My email is ascensiontimes@gmail.com. I actually did get this about 4 years ago, and I think I did it myself, but I would love to do it again because it's a beautiful ritual. It really is.
It is, yes.
And you even opened the door for them.
I did at
so
10
wonderful.
o'clock, yeah.
Wonderful. I love that. Well, you're doing a beautiful job with this show, and thank you so much. And I love the story about clearing out the really dark ornaments on the lawn because, wow, this whole universe runs on symbols. We have to have the right symbols in our home. Yikes. So thank you so much for that. And, just carry on. Thank you for the angel insight as well, Jennifer. I appreciate
thank you for calling. Have a lovely day.
Absolutely. You too. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
And it looks like we have another caller here also from area code 509. Are you there?
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are we speaking with?
My name is Marie, and I had an angel question about how many angels do I have around me?
Okay, let me tune in. Yeah, it looks like you're up in my neck of the woods. You in Washington?
Yes.
Spokane?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. And I'm sorry, your first name is Marie?
Yes.
Okay. You have 4 angels that are with you all the time.
Oh, cool. That's neat.
2 of them feel like archangels. So are you communicating with archangels much often or asking for their assistance?
A little bit. I'm also a psychic medium, so...
Oh, you also have a guide with you, and I believe... Hang on, let me ask. There's a group. I'm trying to sort through the people. Hang on.
Wow.
Wow.
Who's this lady? Has your grandmother passed away?
Yes.
Yeah, she's with you. So, because it's an older lady, she's not a guide, because a guide is somebody, although we have teachers and spirits that come in and out throughout our lifetime for different reasons, when we all sat down and wrote out our plan. But she's actually been with you quite a bit.
My adoptive grandmother passed away when I was 23. Yeah. She,
Is this the one you were close to? Because there's a close connection there.
Yes.
Okay.
Very close.
And she's kind of a taller lady. And she's kind of got like the shampoo set hairdo.
Yeah.
You know, where they go in the salon, they put the roller that they used to do for the little ladies. Anyway, she's not really that old. She's not like old. She's like young old, like 70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I was trying to talk to her. Let me see. She's there for support and wisdom, she says. She's just trying to guide you and trying to guide you through a lot of personal relationships as well.
Yes.
So you've got a lot of things you're dealing with there. And so she's actually there for a certain amount of time just to be supportive, because she said she dealt with a lot of personal trauma in her life, and there's some things that she dealt with that she can help you with that you're now dealing with.
Yes.
I don't want to get too specific on the air because it's your personal business.
That's fine.
But as far as the angels, you got a lot of help over there. I'm telling you what. I'm picking up, you've got basically 2 guardian angels. There's one that's female and there's one that's male. The male is more for protection. The female is more for to teach you empathy.
Yes.
What's that? It's over there. Michael's with you.
Archangel. Oh, Archangel Michael?
Yeah, because I think you called out to him for help.
Yeah, I have.
And I think Raphael. Do you have concerns about your health? Because I think you've called out to Raphael for concerns about that.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Those 2 are with you. You've got the 2. Then you've got the grandma. And okay, look, now who's her personal guide? Angie. Okay, so her name's Angie. She's got, she's a cutie pie. She's got, I just love her. It's just like at this burst of joy from Angie. She's got like chestnut brown shoulder length hair. Strange, she shows up with glasses, which I have never seen before on a spirit.
Oh.
Are you going to school?
I was.
Okay.
I'm also planning on going to college, but it's so far in the future that I don't know.
Okay, well, she really is helping you with studious things. She's helping you learn. She says that's her primary role right now, is to help you, like being a scholar. Help you with that.
Oh, cool. Yes,
okay.
I want to be a sign language interpreter.
A what?
A sign language interpreter.
Oh, that's neat. Oh, lovely.
Yes, I can't hear very well. I don't hear on my left side.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of time to do a full read on you, hun, but if you would like to schedule a reading with me, you can go to jenniferfalllaw.com or listen to the archive of the show. And and we can do more. We can talk about the health and things like that. But I think at this time we're going to break.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks so much for calling, hun.
Thank you.
Bye.
And we'll be back in about 3 to 4 minutes with the Universal Consciousness Show again.
While you're sitting back and enjoying this year's Spookathon, please do not forget the purpose for this great one-of-a-kind event. The LNM Radio Network is listener-funded, and that means we need you to keep doing what we do here. Bringing you the best hosts with the best guests and the best information and entertainment of any other radio station on the planet. I planted this seed called LNM 11 years ago, not having any idea how big this baby would grow. And grown it has. Like anything we love, we want to cherish, protect, and be sure it continues to breathe life to all the great people who depend on our shows and our content each and every day. So won't you please reach into your pocket today and donate to the LNM Radio Network, because without you, there is no us. And no us means no me and you. I don't know about you, but that makes me sad. We started this mission 11 years ago, not knowing what it was. We can continue this mission only with your help. So go over to LateNightInTheMidlands.com or LNMRadioNetwork.com and click the donate button now, so we can continue to bring you the best guests with the best information, the best host on the #1 network in the land, the LNM Radio Network. Enjoy the Spookathon, folks.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough.
From the author of Silent Steps and Haunted, Finding an Explanation for the Unknown, comes a story so chilling it will haunt you for years to come. Krista is a young woman escaping her past, running away from her family, her traumas, and her God, hoping to find a new life in a different town. But when she is forced to make a horrible choice, she comes to realize malevolent entities have controlled the true darkness she has been a part of. That is when her real terror begins. Penitence is disturbing and evocative. It will tear down the walls between what is real and what is nightmare. Penitence is the new novel by the man called the new master of speculative fiction, Ira Robinson. Find it and all of his books at his website, originalworlds.com.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things.
2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks.
Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator. My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school.
Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace.
The LNM Radio Network is the #1 network in the land.
That's a big statement.
Yes, it is. We have the best host with the best guests and the best information.
I agree with that.
As you should. LNM is surrounded by some of the top names in the business.
Of course.
And now you can take advantage by advertising on our station and or shows, or just sponsoring a specific show.
Really?
So go to our website, www.lnmradionetwork.com, and see for yourself what we have to offer. And then contact us at sales@lnmradionetwork.com, or see our contact info on our website, www.lnmradionetwork.com. Hop in, fasten your seatbelt, take a ride every weeknight from 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern with Heather Wade from the Kingdom of Nye, right here on the #1 network in the land, the LNM Radio Network.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off at school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
LNM Radio Network, shining the light of truth 24 hours a day.
And we're back. This is the Universal Consciousness Radio. I'm Nori Love. This is Aage Nost's show, and we are talking with the amazing Jennifer FALLAW. Jennifer, I know you're a psychic medium and you work with the angels. Tell us more. Tell me more.
Okay. Well.
Anywhere you want to go is okay with me.
There you are. Okay. I was just filling in for you because I didn't see you on the chat. Okay.
Well, I guess it kind of runs in the family, but, we had a very Catholic family, and they would just say Catholic people are kind of reserved, and they would say, well, Papa gets feelings about things, and I just knew, like, if my mom got a strong feeling about something and told you not to go somewhere, you don't go. Because, she would do that and tell people and they'd get in a car accident or something like that. And it was just a warning. And so I kind of just always thought it gave people good advice. And it wasn't until I started researching psychic ability and things like that, probably, 20, 25 years ago, and just started reading a lot. And at the time, I thought it was an interest that I didn't understand really why I was so engrossed in this. I just sucking these books down, and then I had my first daughter, and she was seeing things all over the house and saying things like, "Oh, remember when I was the mommy and you were the baby and grandma was there?" And so then she's 3, she comes out with this, and you're like, "No, tell me more about that." And then she's off to the ABCs. You can never get any more information. So over the years, I thought this interest was okay. I said, well, this is a motherly thing. This is for her. Then, my husband passed away in 2007. He was killed by a drunk driver and left me with 2 girls. And I really I needed more. I needed more than my Catholic upbringing would give me. I needed to understand what was going on with her. And in trying to do that, I opened up, because when you start reading and you start understanding things, the fear goes away, and you open yourself up to your natural abilities. And so that just started happening. And then it was just a very long process, and I never sought out talking to the angels when I paired up. I met a man after I wrote my first book. I met a man whose name is Marcus Slater, and he was the last apprentice to Carlos Castaneda.
Wow.
And so we just started talking and emailing on the phone, just, mutual interests. And I started telling him things. He goes, you know that this is not normal, right? And I'm like, well, not normal like you're insane, Jen? Or is it like not normal like, he says, not normal like you're psychic? And I'm like, no. And he suggested I meditate for my stress. And I'm like, well, thank you very much. But every time I try to meditate, I see these swirling colors and everything. And it scares me, so I probably won't. So he was a private researcher for the Monroe Institute, which is one of the leading institutes in America at the time, if not still, for the study of human consciousness. And he used to use HemiSync to meditate and to get to different levels of consciousness to receive answers and view things. And so he suggested I do that. Well, just the suggestion of that, I started meditating, and I'm like, you know what? this all scares me. I'm just going to go to the safe place. I want to go to heaven, and I want to sit in this field, and there's this tree that was in my dreams, and I want to sit there. So I sat there many times, and pretty soon Archangel Gabriel walks up, this angel, and I didn't know hardly anything about archangels. It wasn't my area of study. I was studying psychic ability. So then he walks up, and I knew exactly who he was. And
Amazing.
Like, why do I know? And it just all kind of went from there. And so that sparked research in this meditation that I could go talk to the archangels in meditation. And Marcus would go with his hemisync information. We would have the same question. I would go in, just go. I would just go. And we'd have the same question, and we would come back. And then we would compare our notes, write it all up, and then switch. Here, you read mine, I'll read yours. And it was very, very, very close. And so we started testing it. And I remember one time the test was, I tell the story all the time, but it's really cool. The test was, I said, I want you to go into, I had gone into meditation and talked to Archangel Michael. I said, I really need to trust this. I'm a rational person. I need to understand that I'm not just wacko. So I'm going to send Marcus in. The code word is yellow. He said, okay. And so I told Marcus, I said, you need to go into meditation and come back and tell me. So he goes into meditation, and he comes back. He writes it all up. He comes back, and he says, I don't know what you wanted me to do here, but all I saw was Archangel Michael walk up to me and say yellow. And I went, oh my God, this is like really cool. This is really cool. And so he got all excited about it. We started doing a radio show on it where we would go in with questions, come back with the answers, and they really matched up 90% of the time. And it was, my answers were more emotional, his were more scientific.
Amazing.
But it just went on from there. And then it really was a personal journey of trusting. Then I got a friend asked me, well, if you can go into meditation and stand with Jesus and talk to the angels, why don't you do healings?
Yeah.
And I said, because I'm not a healer and I don't know how to do that. And she's like, well, I have this friend who has bone cancer. So I'm like, okay, no pressure, no pressure at all.
Yeah.
So I tried. I said, you know what? I'll do my best. I'll go and see what I can do. So I went into meditation, and I called for Jesus because, if you're going to have somebody teach you how to heal, it might as well be the best. And so I said, somebody asked me to do this. What should we do? And so what it looked like was this room with this chair in the middle. You really couldn't see the walls of the room, but there were these angels in this huge ring. I mean, it's like hundreds of them. Jesus is next to me. It's like walking into the dream, that kind of clarity, but everything in the dream is positive. And there's this chair there, and it's just way too many things going on for me to have created that in my imagination that fast. And so from the left, the soul was called in of this person, and I was told that they were calling in the soul and that the healing is done on a soul basis, and that will transfer down to the physical body, probably not instantly, but we'll flip switches to have the healing start. And I said, okay. So I did this, and all the swirling lights, and there's big light from above, and Jesus is telling me, tell the body what to do, and pull this out, put that in, and all these things. And I'm like, that was weird. I'm insane. So I went back to the lady that asked me for her friend, and I said, I'm just going to tell you what I saw. I'm either crazy or it works. So 2 weeks later, I'm out shopping for shoes for the kids. I remember I was in Ross, and luckily there was a stool there because the woman's mother called me and said, not only is the doctors just told me she's in complete remission, but she's growing back new bone. And I just fell onto the chair. And I'm trying to glorify myself because let me tell you right now, I'm just a lady that walks in and points and asks, please be this. send this healing to this person. And there's something important about someone incarnated who stands up along with you, you know, wherever two or more gather in his name, maybe something like that. But there's very something important about having somebody stand up and be a vehicle. And so that's all I do. The healing comes from God. I don't have to know how to heal anything. It's just, you know, people have to believe. And you know, over the years, there's just been thousands of people. You know, there's been very successful healings done, and it's been a personal journey for me. And my motto is believe in infinite possibilities. The angels gave me that. And if you really do, and if you really think about that concept, then anybody can pretty much do anything. And, you know, if I keep my intentions true, and I choose just to be a vehicle for truth or vehicle for healing or vehicle for hope, then I aspire to be a clean one. And that's what I'm doing.
Amazing. And it just feels so so genuine from you. And I have a question from our co-host on the Sunday show on our broadcast team Alpha, Aage and myself, and Tom Schaefer sent a question in. Can you take a question remotely?
What does that mean?
I mean, can I ask the question for him because he doesn't have privacy to call in?
Yes, because he's giving you, see, the angels are very protective of personal privacy. So I don't get like what you do in your private time and your dirty, dark secrets and all these things. But, you know, somebody really has to give them and me permission to answer. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay, so he has 3 questions, and he's looking for confirmation about a galaxy, a planet, and a people. So he's looking for the name of the galaxy, the name of the planet, and the name of the people.
No pressure. You know?
Right? Well, listen, if you heal bone cancer, you're good.
I know.
You're good.
I don't do that. I'm telling you.
Know.
I know. I was completely oblivious. But first thing pops into my head is Andromeda.
Andromeda.
That's the word that drops into my head.
Okay, he's listening. Mm-hmm.
The planet starts with an X, and that's the human's perception of it.
Well, you know what? I think that he and I have talked about that, actually. Interesting. And
it's like XTY, something weird that I can't pronounce. Possible number in there. Now the people. Let's talk about why first. Because I don't want to send you, I don't know. I'm getting a little hesitation on this people. Has he been abducted?
Possibly. Possibly.
Okay. He he's receiving messages.
Is he receiving messages?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. No, he hasn't been abducted as far as he knows, or I don't think he's receiving messages.
Okay.
I think he would like to.
Well, there's a signal coming out to him because he's open to it and he's searching for it. So there's somebody, I think they're trying to get him to open up to receive messages. But I would just be a little bit cautious in that because really nobody really knows what we're dealing with here.
Yes.
There are many different alien races. I don't really get into that because I connect energetically and on sometimes on a remote viewing telepathy level, and if they see me, I don't want to come back at me. But
okay. So Jennifer, I think I'm going to ask him to get in touch with you. He said the galaxy was correct, but I think we only have a couple of minutes left. Aage, do you want to jump in here?
Yeah, I think I know a little bit about what Tom have in mind, and I think it's best probably that he talks directly with Jennifer on this, and we can do that because we'll make sure that they get in touch.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. So we're getting down towards the end of the show here, and I would say for Jennifer and for Nori, like I say sometimes, if you could speak to the whole world, either one of you take it first, what would you say?
Believe in infinite possibilities. The angels told me a long time ago when I asked, why are you telling me these things? Because they said, because you've chosen to believe in infinite possibilities, and that is where we reside.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I would say you are whole, perfect, and complete. You are completely loved, and you are free to experience all of that.
Absolutely. We are love. And I would say to people that find something you do love, and you will never work a day in your life. I've been very lucky. I've been able to do that for the most. And I tell you, it sure beats going down to the factory every day, clocking in at 9 and going home and doing what you don't like necessarily. Find something that you enjoy doing. If you are working and have a job that you don't necessarily love or even like, find something you do love in the time that is your own. Because we got to keep joy in our life one way or the other. And this way it might be the other, but you at least have some joy there. And then I would say to people, look into alternative methods for both healing and of the body and the mind, because inside the box there is no healing. Get out of the box, kick it out of the way, get rid of it, so you don't even know where it is. You're going to be a lot happier. Go within in meditation. That is how you connect, or you at least start out to connect with the higher vibrations and the entities and beings and knowledge out there. It is all there for the taking. And you could be the taker on that. They love to give you information and give you help. All you have to do is to ask, and they will be there. So.
That felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All we have to do is to ask. That's really all there is. Some of us, or a lot of us, we don't ask. That's why we don't get things.
And be specific about who you're asking.
Yes. Absolutely.
Seriously.
Yeah. And
Jennifer, how can we get in touch with Jennifer going forward?
Yes.
You can reach me at jenniferfallah.com. You can reach me at beaconoflightradio.com. I am CEO and part owner of that. You can find me on Facebook. I do actually have a free reading group on Facebook. We're about 20,000 strong over there. It's called Free Psychic Readings, Beacon of Light. And it's kind of like a psychic Costco. We give out samples. We give one free question a week to people, and we're just doing a lot of good over there. So come and join us.
Nice.
Absolutely. And how do they get a hold of you, Nori?
Oh, people can reach me at everythingconscious.com. They can follow me on Coaching with Love or Hypnotherapy with Love on Facebook. Thank you, Aage. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and you're a hypnotherapist also. And if anybody want to have a little more knowledge about where their previous life existences was, this will be the place to go to find out.
And can you do that over the phone, Nori?
I do it over Zoom, yes.
Because I want to start working with you on a few things.
Absolutely. I would love that. Yeah, okay. And
So-
Michael Vera is coming up next, Late Night in the Midlands with Michael Vera. And I'm tuning in all weekend. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I am too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we will thank everybody listening, and my panel here, Jennifer FALLAW and Nori Love, and myself. I thank myself too. So we will see you next. No, there'll be tomorrow. We are doing the broadcast team Alpha Spookathon.
Yeah. 3 p.m. 3 p.m. 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Here on LNM.
I think it's 1. Is it 3 p.m.? I thought it was 1 p.m.
Well, if they go to broadcastteamalpha.com, it's on there.
That would be your time.
Yeah.
That would be your time, Audrey. So I believe it's 3 to 5. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Kate just said straight. It's 1 p.m. So sorry.
1 p.m. East Coast, yeah.
Right. 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. I apologize, you
Okay,
guys.
and we gotta go. So Michael will have a space to talk here. So we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.